I'm Mark Seifter.
And I'm Linda Zeiss Palmer.
And this is Arcane Mark. Welcome, everyone.
Hello, welcome to
Arcane Mark. Build a deity workshop. So we need to build a deity, and in order to build a deity, just like almost anything we're going to build, we're going to start with a concept for an interesting deity. So everyone who has any kind of idea, whether it's very specific or even just like a very general deity idea, like it could be as general as like a love deity or as specific as like some of the other ones we've done before.
Yeah.
So put any ideas in chat and we will figure it out in terms of a vote.
And we have a first idea already, Vampiric Leshy.
That's right.
Awesome.
Vampire Leshy deity. Hibernation deity. That'll be different than our winter deity that we already have from a previous one because it's not as much about hibernation if I recall correctly. Could be like a friend of that sleeping dream deity that we made and the winter deity.
Yeah, people like making deities about resting. I wonder what that means about our Arcane Mark community.
It means that Dustin should take a nap.
There you go.
He even said so in chat. So, maybe it's that just people like to rest. And are just very tired and are just like... Yeah. Alright. So let's see what other deity ideas we have along the way in addition to Vampiric Leshy and Hibernation deity. It says that... I see Kitchev is saying that Considering Warlock should take a red nap. That's what it was. I thought it was telling us that we should do it at Considering Warlock.
It's a game over too.
Yeah. That makes sense. Any other deity ideas that we have in the chat? It looks like Leshy but paying early like confused people. But yeah, we're really going and we're really taking deity ideas. So if you just joined, you're not too late to put in a deity idea or just put it real quick in chat. We have 2 so far. Vampire Leshy and Hibernation deity are our 2 possible deities. But we can get a few more before we vote for what deity we're going to be building for the rest of this episode. Because deities created humanity in their image, and so therefore we're going to create deities in our image.
And
what would be more in Linda's image than a Leshy?
And once we know which concept we're going for, we can start talking about, what sorts of edicts and anathemas they have, what their alignment is, what kinds of domains they have, and all those sorts of things.
That's right.
Deity of abstract concepts.
There we go. Deity of abstract concepts. All right. So we have 3 deity ideas. Do we have any more? If not, then we'll have to do a vote between these 3 deities, which are Vampire Leshy, Hibernation, and Abstract Concepts. I'll give a couple more seconds for people to come up with other deity ideas.
Deity of cats.
Deity of cats. All right, there we go.
4.
That'll be a 4.
Yeah.
And also, I need to spell concepts correctly.
Yes, you do.
All right. Ceiling cat. All right, here we go. Let's vote. Put a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in chat, depending on if you want a Vampire Leshy, Hibernation deity, Abstract Concepts, or cat deity.
I can definitely see building any of these.
Yep. I totally could. Let's find out which one we shall be building. As chat decides.
We have our first vote for idea number 1.
Vampire Leshy. Voted for by the person who proposed Vampire Leshy. Let's see what other votes we have in here. Vote 1 for Vampire Leshy, 2 for Hibernation deity, 3 for Deity of Abstract Concepts, and 4 for Deity of Cats. Zen Bullet has voted for 1 and 3. Okay, I'll give that half a vote to
we have 1.5 votes for 1.
Okay, and the chunk voted for 3, so now that means that we have 1.5 votes for each of them. Kitsune Warlock would like to see what could be done with 3. So that's 2.5 votes for
3.
Abstract Concepts. So anyone just coming in, we're voting in the following way. 1 for Vampire Leshy, 2 for Hibernation Deity, 3 for Abstract Concepts, and 4 for Cats. I've put it back in chat again because I know people filter in along the way. It is super ridiculously close between 1 and 3 at this point, and it could go down to even a single vote between Vampire Leshy or Abstract Concepts. But
I think
if this is
abstract
what we've
concepts is gonna
got,
have it.
then Abstract Concepts, I guess, has won by 2.5 to 1.5.
Oh wait,
no, 1.
wait, one
There we
came
go.
in. There we
So
go.
it's
It's
a
tied again.
tie, 2.5 to 2.5. So we've got a Vampire Leshy and Abstract Concepts. So it seems to be a tie, so I guess we are making a deity that is a vampiric Leshy of Abstract Concepts.
Oh, this is gonna be tricky.
That's right. So it is a Leshy that generally feeds upon abstract concepts like a vampire. So it's a vampire Leshy deity of abstract concepts. All right, this is what we're doing. So we know that we're a vampire Leshy deity of abstract concepts. So what alignment should this vampire Leshy deity of abstract concepts be? Like, obviously vampires are usually evil, but this is a vampiric, and it may not be like a literal undead vampire. I mean, it feeds
So it's
upon
like a plant-like
it
divinity
feeds
that feeds
upon
upon
abstract
concepts.
concepts in a way that's vampiric, like leeches, but doesn't necessarily mean it's literally an undead. So I could see a lot of possible alignments. So suggest alignments that you think that the vampire Leshy deity of
So
abstract
this is
concepts
so
might be
this
in
is
chat.
interesting too, because like feeding on abstract concepts generally feels more occult, but then like a Leshy type thing definitely feels more primal. So this makes me think of like a plant that's not necessarily a primal plant that grows in like, you know, soil and typical things, but maybe more like of the, you know, plant that grows on the ethereal plane, or a plant that grows in like some sort
Like
of
an
higher,
ether vine?
like an ether, yeah, like an ether root or some other plant
Or
that
ether
exists
root, that's
on
the
like
one
a
it
higher
was.
dimension.
Also, it probably embodies the idea of hearing something through the grapevine.
There you go. I see stealing credit for other people's ideas being something.
Clearly a strange amalgamation between the primal and the occult. What alignment do people think? Does anyone have any idea at all whether it's good or evil or neutral between those? Lawful, chaotic, or neutral between those? Like, I could see a lot of possibilities. If we want to go all in on vampires, it could be evil, but it could be like more neutral because abstract concepts are like, I am too abstract to worry about your alignments. Could be lawful because of the fact that like sometimes beings of absolute law like talk in mathematical equations and very abstractly, or it could be chaotic in the sense of like weirdly abstract, like weird chaotic abstract art that nobody can understand. So let's see. Zen Bullet suggests lawful evil as a possible deity alignment for our vampire Leshy deity of abstract concepts.
So that would be more of like the like tyrannically stealing ideas from everyone. Idea behind it.
Yes. The tyrant of abstract concepts, the Leshy vampire. Does anyone else have any thoughts about alignments other than lawful evil? Or if you also have lawful evil, then feel free to also put that in chat. Like, I could see a lot of possible alignments for this deity. Like, given Leshies tend towards neutral, vampires tend towards evil. There's a lot of possibilities. Like, it doesn't really strike me as being like really super duper good alignment. But I could. I mean, I guess it's possible that it could be. Like, we can do whatever we want with this deity.
Yeah, we could.
Yep.
So I think if I were to combine that.
Okay, so Chunk says it's tough between chaotic neutral and lawful neutral.
So it sounds like folks are generally not thinking good here. I think
Well,
it,
I wasn't thinking good
yeah.
either.
I think sort of like the lawful versus chaotic here to me is this more of a deity that's like that is gathering together these abstract ideas in like a strict and hierarchical way, or that has like a very orderly way of thinking, or is it more of like a just grab ideas from everywhere
So
flexible type?
whimsically abstract that we can't understand any of it, or just the idea that it's in a loftier abstract realm means it doesn't care about alignments.
Hmm.
Like I could see any of those in terms of chaos and law. I guess that's why people are having so much trouble on this because there's just so many
Yeah, because I'm
possibilities.
I'm taking the like the steals credit for other people's ideas, and then like the lawful evil one may be more about like taking the ideas from the world, or taking ideas from others and using them for your own gain. Whereas like the chaotic one might be more like just absorb all sorts of ideas and always listen to anything.
Lawful evil one is like always taking somebody else's idea and trying to become the one who's famous for it.
Yes.
So like Tesla, he didn't invent any kind of electric things. It was me all
I
along.
feel like
Who's Rosalind Franklin? She didn't do
yeah,
anything.
anathema would be like respect intellectual property. It's just like
Or
takes
like
different ones ideas. Yeah.
I don't know. It's lawful evil, so it probably
They'll probably
tries
just
to
take ideas and then like
take
use them.
ideas and get the
Mhm.
legal rights to it,
Yeah.
and respect like the creator's process or something like that. Potentially, if it was the lawful evil one.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like we don't have a lot of ideas for alignment. So we have lawful evil, lawful neutral, and chaotic neutral. Which, if we put those on a heat map, well, none of the
Mhm.
alignments that anybody picked would be the average out for that. And I don't exactly want to pick an alignment that literally
Yeah.
no one suggested, like true neutral. So I'm actually not sure what to do.
Oh,
We've
we just
actually
got
we
another
got
vote
another
for
one for
chaotic
chaotic
neutral.
neutral. That definitely helps. So now we have two chaotic neutrals, a lawful neutral, and a lawful evil. So the chaotic neutral is like, and the lawful neutral that are together are kind of like a half. Oh, another chaotic neutral.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go chaotic neutral. I was gonna say with only two
Mhm.
alignment suggestions, it was really not enough to make
Yeah.
a call.
So I think that
But
the edict of like absorb new ideas wherever you find
yes,
them
I think it's now
would
not
fit
like some
the.
weird intellectual property scammer. But and Kojo
Mhm.
Drista says neutral good. So there's enough chaotic around chaotic neutral that we'll go with chaotic neutral for now. But we now need to figure out what alignments the deity accepts, and that will help tell us a little bit more about what the deity really cares about in terms of abstract concept
Mhm.
vampire leshy. So we obviously accept chaotic neutral because we are chaotic neutral, but what alignments should we accept in addition to chaotic neutral? So probably chaotic good and chaotic evil, but maybe not. Like stereotypically, we might accept chaotic good, chaotic evil, and perhaps true neutral if like being
Mhm.
chaotic isn't such a big aspect of us compared to everything else. So what alignments do people think that should be allowed? Kozo Jusa concedes to chaotic neutral delegation. All right. We could potentially allow even more alignments than that if it's just
Mhm.
like I'm so abstract I
I
don't
don't
care. As
care.
long as you're
You.
not lawful, you could be neutral good or neutral evil for all I care.
Mhm.
That's certainly a possibility too. And just be like all six alignments except lawful. Or like all nine alignments. It doesn't matter. It's all abstract. So, does anyone else have any thoughts about what alignments to accept? While we're thinking about which alignments to accept on this deity, let's also think about divine font and whether
Yes.
or not it's healing or harm or both heal and harm. So we're going to start thinking about that because that's what we're going to do next after
Mhm.
we determine what follower alignments we're going
Yeah,
to
I could
allow.
see. I could really see either
Or what, sorry,
because like
clergy alignments.
I could really see either because like harm may be more stereotypically associated with like vampirism, but heal is also like more creative and generative rather than destructive.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe either.
Yep.
I could see that.
And leshies are associated with their healing burst
Mm-hmm.
ability that they have.
Yes.
So I could see that being heal or harm for that reason. Alright. So Cloud Juicer says chaotic good and chaotic neutral would be allowed because evil inhibits freedom and abstract thought, interpreting chaotic as wanting freedom. Okay. Well, that's the only thing we have
Mm-hmm.
so far. So we could say chaotic good and chaotic neutral are the only alignments that are allowed. And if anyone else has other alignments to allow for followers,
That
then
would then
put them into
bias
chat.
more toward that would more bias toward the heal sort of
I think
idea
it
rather
could
than heal and
still
harm. But
have
it could be
harm
either. And the
because
default would be to
it's
allow
a
both.
weird and abstract.
Yeah.
So we could do potentially heal and harm. What do people think in terms of fonts? Put heal, harm, or heal and harm. And tell us what you think about which font you want this Leshy to have. Meanwhile, the next thing that we're going to look at
The
is
ability?
going to be a divine skill.
What about divine ability?
Well, I figured let's figure out what the divine skill is first, because we
Oh,
might
that's
use
right,
the
because we
ability
might use the ability for that, yeah.
from the skill. So people are saying heal and harm, which is what we were kind of thinking.
Alright,
So
that
let's
works.
do
So
heal and harm.
Awesome.
So what skill should be the skill that isn't religion that this deity wants people to know?
Oh gosh.
Well, given that it's all about weird abstract concepts, it feels like, I don't know, occultism?
Maybe?
I was thinking occultism. Because of the fact that some of the other ones are a little less abstract than occultism. Let's see what if chat agrees with occultism for that. And therefore, also that might mean divine ability would include intelligence.
Well, I mean, it would also make sense
could be
for
int
needing
and
to
wisdom.
grasp really abstract concepts.
It could be int and wisdom, because wisdom is like being able to see the pattern in the concepts. People are saying occultism.
Okay.
What does everyone think about intelligence and wisdom for the two divine ability scores that are associated with this deity? In terms of for abstract thought, you might want one or both of those. We'll see what people think about intelligence and wisdom, and then we're also going to need to decide
On a favored weapon.
a favored weapon. That's right. Weapon comes next after ability score. So what would be a good weapon for this deity, this vampiric leshy of abstract concepts? And also send us a chat if you like intelligence and wisdom for the ability scores, or if you think there should be another ability score in there.
So
yes, Kojal Drusa, this is a vampiric leshy of abstract concepts.
Who feeds upon abstract concepts.
Yes.
So like now my mind is now my mind is going to like
Maul is a suggestion.
Things.
So like a big giant hammer.
Yeah.
Okay. We can put in a mall. If anyone else has any other ideas, we can revisit that later. In terms of domains, let's figure out what domains
I like that because it feels like a very iconic weapon. Like big giant hammer has very big weapon energy.
That's true. So, here are all the domains. I'm just gonna say them all slowly, and people can you can just start typing in when you hear one that you like, or if you already can think of one that you like. Air, ambition, change, cities, cold, confidence, creation, darkness, death, decay, delirium, destruction, dreams, dust, duty, earth, family, fate, fire, freedom, glyph, healing, indulgence, knowledge, lightning, luck, magic, might, moon, nature, nightmares, pain, passion, perfection, plague, protection, repose, secrecy, sorrow, soul, star, sun, swarm, time, toil, travel, trickery, truth, tyranny, undeath, vigil, void, water, wealth, wormkin, and zeal. Those are the domains. So let's see what we've got here. We've got change. We've got creation. Other people's liking change. Dreams, freedom, nature, and sun are the ones that
So
people have written
change
down
and
there.
dreams had multiple votes, and then we had creation, freedom,
Nature and
nature,
sun.
and sun.
And Linda had also had creation and freedom, but she
Oh,
had put knowledge, time, and truth
I was just
on her
typing out
own.
my thoughts in case
Yes,
folks weren't sure.
that's true. Also, we have another creation, void, or dream. Can a vampiric leshy even have sun as the domain? I mean, it depends on whether it's literally a vampire or whether
Hmm.
it has a vampiric sort of connection to the way it treats abstract concepts. So we're
So
gonna
it definitely
pick,
seems like creation, change, and dream are here.
yeah, creation, change, and dream, and also,
We also had a secondarily had freedom, nature, and sun.
but freedom was one of the ones that you had, right? So we sort of had someone else message.
And then void came up as well.
Mm-hmm. So what if we did creation, change, dreams, and freedom as the 4 domains?
That sounds good.
All right. So we've got 4 domains, and then Kitsune Warlock suggested a bat as a sacred animal. I think, which we hadn't gotten to yet, but we might as well. I mean, that's definitely would be in contention.
Hmm.
Probably like some. It could either be a
Unless that was
vampire bat
intended to be
because
a
of
weapon,
vampire, or
but
it
I
could
think it
be
was
or
probably
it
a
could be a
bet.
fruit bat because of like the leshy aspect of it, or something like that. So we have
I could also see
determined the
putting in nature
domains.
and sun as like alternate domains if you're trying to go with a variant that's like more focused on the plant.
Yeah, potentially. Um, so then cleric spells. So we need one first level spell and then 2 spells that are of different levels. So we. Oh, I see. It was a pun for a weapon to be a bat. So it was based on the animal bat, but
Hmm.
not exactly in the same way that we thought.
Okay, well for now I have sacred animal bat penciled in.
All right,
If
so
somebody
our
has a different idea, we
vampiric
can do that, but
leshy
I'm
of
cool with that.
abstract concepts needs 3 spells, one of
Hmm.
which is a first level spell. It has to not be on the divine list. And
We're
let's see
probably
if
gonna be
there's
going with
something on the
occult.
occult list. So let's find our first level spell first. Maybe that will help us
Yeah.
later on. So what can we do
Okay,
here?
it's probably gonna be something
There's
that's
like
like
a
really
ton
bizarrely
of
esoteric.
first level spells, so maybe we can find one that is like weirdly abstract in the first level list. So like what would be weirdly abstract that a vampiric leshy of abstract concepts would do?
There's also like things that might have to do with like stealing knowledge from people would be
Although
thematic
it's
or
like
picking up.
chaotic neutral and it's creating knowledge more than
Yeah.
stealing. Well, but it sort of drains
Hmm.
or is connected to like a vampire ideas. So
Pocket
let's see.
library.
Yeah, pocket library could work. I could see that. Or that or share lore probably are useful there for first
Or
level
like mind link.
spells. Yeah, or mind link.
Oh, there's a suggestion there,
There's
deja
another
vu.
suggestion of deja vu.
Oh yeah, that definitely carries like that like abstract feeling too.
There's a suggestion for Falcata, but Falcata is broken, so let's not put that onto anything until it gets errated. um, so all of those suggestions for possible spells are cool. Oh wait, what did I do with the window? Oh, there it is.
Hmm.
So yeah, so we had ideas of MindLink, Pocket Library, Shared Lore, and Deja Vu.
Yes.
And all of those are not divine spells. So maybe we should have a vote between those 4 spells for which one will be our first level spell. So we have Deja Vu, Pocket Library, we have MindLink, we have, last but not least, is going to be Shared Lore. All right, so vote 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. for which our first level spell should be.
For the sake of YouTube, I will point out that that 1 is Deja Vu, 2 is Pocket Library, 3 is Mind Link, 4 is Deja Vu, 5 is Share Lore.
I mean, it was low hanging fruit.
I know. A vote for either will be considered. Yes. A vote for both.
So we have a vote for Share Lore, a vote for Deja Vu in both the 1 and 4 form of Deja Vu. Deja Vu in both 1 and 4. Let's see what other ideas we have here.
4
but not 1. Okay, there we go. So it's got to be Deja Vu with both the D and the V capitalized.
There we go. All right.
It is blasphemy.
Blasphemy indeed.
Blasphemy. All right, so we're gonna do Deja Vu as our first level spell. What is our next spell gonna be? It can be any spell level as long as it is not first. Obviously, the second one that's like the second lowest shouldn't be like 9th, because then what are we even gonna do? It should probably be something we can get relatively quickly, like 2nd, 3rd, or 4th at most, but we are allowed to decide that it's higher level.
We could have another, since we didn't go with the Recall Knowledge one for the first one, we could go with something like Hypercognition.
We could go with Hypercognition. I feel like Hypercognition is the complete stereotypical right spell for this guy, because like all the abstract concept characters are like the ones who are like, let me solve this mystery by putting my fingers on my head and math equations float through the air super fast, and then I'm like, aha, I've solved this.
I was like, what's the spell with the Recall Knowledge? And that's what I wanted to suggest.
I feel like that is very, very fitting as the 3rd level spell, Hypercognition.
I don't know what for our other one, but I would like to
think that we should do Hypercognition for sure. Unless people are like, no, not Hypercognition.
I mean, there may be something better that I'm just missing.
I don't think so. For abstract concept deity, this Leshy, it's a very good fit. So let's see. What will our last one be? It can be any spell level above 3. I mean, technically it could be 2nd level, because we didn't say that the one that was level 3 had to be the 2nd one. But it probably will be above level 3. So we're hopefully looking for something that is about abstract thinking. So I'm sure there's something better than telepathy, but telepathy is at least a starting point that we can think about. And let's see. Dustin points out mind reading is also a 3rd level spell. I think Hypercognition is probably stronger, but mind reading is a good choice. It is uncommon, which we shouldn't hand out in these free spells. And that doesn't mean it doesn't happen sometimes, but it's typically a mistake to give out an uncommon spell, because you're not trying to force GMs to give access to that spell if they use the deity. And some of those uncommon spells are uncommon because of plot reasons, and mind reading is one of them. So let's see. So what was the one that I said was, telepathy is the one to beat. I think it can be beaten, but like at least it has like a patina of being related to the topic. And for the same reason as mind reading, mind probe would probably be a bit much because it's uncommon here. Let's see. Some other suggestions include confusion, because of the fact that you could be confused by abstract concepts, warp mind, bursting bloom, and sage's curse. Sage's curse is uncommon, but the other ones are all
warp mind is common.
Yes. Actually, bursting bloom is also uncommon. Although it does cause a rose bush to burst out of their chest in thorn vines, which is very vampire-leshy.
It is very vampire-leshy.
But looks like our spells have, for the most part, chosen based on what the deity is the deity of, rather than its form as a vampire-leshy. Which doesn't mean we couldn't have one to remind people of a vampire-leshy. Another suggestion was Sanguine Mist because of the whole
Yeah.
blood thing, which is not uncommon and is 4th level.
Oh,
So,
that's already divine.
but it's already on the divine list, so we
Is
cannot
Bursting
do it.
Bloom already divine?
It's uncommon.
Oh,
So,
right. Okay.
Confusion is not, and Warp Mind is not. I think. I'm pretty sure Confusion and Warp Mind are Arcane Occult only. Yes.
I would say if your GM was allowing like uncommon choices, that Bursting Bloom one definitely makes a lot of sense for that reason.
Maybe we can use Confusion as the other one.
Is that one 4th now?
Yes, but there's
Cool.
the one that affects multiple targets is higher level. That way you get the 4th and the higher level one. Whereas if you're Warp Mind, you don't get to play with it until later on.
That makes sense.
Still a good choice. All right, so that's what we've got for our 3 spells. That's probably like the hardest thing that we're gonna do. So we're in pretty good shape here. We know our areas of concern are like abstract thoughts. So we need some edicts and anathemas.
So I have that absorb new ideas wherever you find them, which is kind of the chaotic neutral cast to the idea stealing
wherever you find
that we
them.
had it talked about in chat.
That's right. So start thinking and just type when you have one idea for an edict that the deity suggests that you should do, an anathema that you should never do, or something that if you do it, it will just anger the deity. That one is going to take a while to come up with, though. So while people are thinking of that, let's come up with some more of the lore information. So we have bat as a suggestion for sacred animal. Does anyone have any idea for sacred colors? It's usually 2 colors. A new anathema is coming up with your own original, completely original idea.
I'm just imagining that it's like you know, it's like, oh, your work was completely original. I've never seen anything like it before. No, it was totally based on this.
Maybe coming up with a completely original or completely concrete idea is like maybe that's the full like come up with a completely original or concrete idea. It has to be abstract and
like
interconnected by the Leshy.
I see a recommendation of colors blue and orange.
Recommendation of colors fake PNG background.
Just kidding, don't.
So we have so we can see
blue and orange sounds good to me.
And like when I'm thinking of a vampire Leshy, I also think of like red and green in terms of like the blood, or like red vampire eyes and green for like the Leshy colors potentially as well.
I can see that too.
And we can keep thinking of edicts and anathemas in terms of what we're going for here. Also,
what is this deity called? Also,
we want a name and titles. We also want to think of typical worshippers. I'm guessing like mathematicians and philosophers.
Yeah.
And abstract artists.
Yes, for sure.
So an anathema is provide detailed plans and blueprints to make something.
I like that one.
That makes sense to me. So we'll probably want 1 more anathema and 2 more edicts, as well as a name and possibly some titles. And then we've got a deity. Edict. Always seek new ways to interpret reality. Solid. So we're looking for 1 edict, 1 anathema, and a name with titles of this vampire Leshy of abstract concepts. Deity. What a weird deity.
This is what happens when we have 2 ideas and we jam them together.
You know what? It works out. It's like a weird growing vine that's like intertwined with the concepts and like feeds upon them in the same way.
Yeah, climbing up like a trellis and
as
digging
water and sunlight are absorbed by a normal plant. Anathema. Discourage someone from going against the status quo or social norms.
Legit. Against the...
It's interesting though, because it like you sort of are going along with things other people have done, but you also don't want to completely follow them
Yeah.
because then you're not creating something new. But you don't want to go completely off where you don't have those vines and roots
Yeah,
to
so you
connect
don't want
to.
to tell people just keep doing the same thing,
Yes.
but you also, when you're doing your own stuff, always want to build new things.
Celery
But that are based off
stalks at
bugs.
midnight. Maybe this vampire leshy got created because Banicula was draining the juices out of celery at night, and it turned the celery into a vampire.
You can't prove that's not what happened.
You can't. Nobody knows for sure. So then we would have one more edict, and we'd have the name and title of this vampire leshy. Edict is always support free thinkers and iconoclasts. So we could potentially have a title for the deity that's like based on the fact that it is like a vampiric leshy of abstract concepts.
I mean, yeah, that is what it is, but like...
Yes, but if it's like a vampire of the abstract, or vampire leshy of the abstract, like that, the problem is that like it has so much to it that
Yes.
anything that's not super long is not going to carry all of what you need to know. So like there's a suggestion here is the formless lord because of abstract being formless.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe another one is the fractal vine.
Oh, that's good.
And then there's one
so we
here
have
that
the
says
formless lord, the fractal vine,
and mindweed.
Mindweed. Oh, those are all good. You know, I'm kind of wondering if this deity doesn't have a single agreed upon formal name, because giving them a single defined formal name would be like making them too concrete of a concept.
I mean, that's possible.
And then like these are various titles that people use to refer to the deity.
Maybe the deity only has titles, yeah, because it's not abstract enough if you have a name. Yeah. So this deity has no name.
There you go.
Giving the deity a name is anathema.
Okay.
Giving the trying to give them a name that is not just a title is anathema. You know, it's like in the Never-Ending Story where they named the emptiness, and that was how they defeated it.
Yeah. So I think then that we can discourage someone from going against the status quo or social norms, and keep that on the edict side of supporting free thinkers and iconoclasts, because you can't really like follow one while not... They come together pretty well. So
yes,
I think we can keep the trying to give the deity name side of that, and then we have...
Yes. Also a suggestion is the nameless count. Alright. So yeah, we made a deity. It's a weird, leshy vampire of abstract concepts. And is now officially entered the Arcane Mark Pantheon alongside like 6 or 7 other deities that we made. So
we haven't created any like normal deities.
Linda is gonna put that into workshops, posting under me.
Arcane Mark.
So there we have it. Let's say goodbye to YouTube and then do our outro with everyone to see what we voted for the next episode. Bye, YouTube.
Bye.